I'd be concerned about City. I think they've lost their fear factor.
It's going to be a hard decision for Slot.
Of all these English teams, I think they will go the further.
Who wins the Champions League this year?
Carabao.
Mate, it's bold.
Hello everybody, welcome to this Champions League special. We're going to take a look at the league phase of the competition now the draw's been made. I'm Darren Fletcher, with me I've got Julien Laurens, Ali McCoist, Michail Antonio and Joe Cole. We've got 6 English teams. It all kicks off on September the 16th and we'll follow it all the way through to the final in Budapest at the end of May. Joe, let's start with one of your old clubs, Liverpool, who look like at the outset they're going to be the main contenders. Do you think that they can go better in this competition this season than they did last season? Is this a Liverpool team that's ready to win another Champions League?
I think they can, Fletch. I think I backed them massively for the start of the league season. I think all of us did. It was across the board. But the only thing that was making me second guess myself is the midfield balance. And its early days doesn't look quite right at the moment. Having Gravenberch back in the side, it's slightly better. But to answer your question, I think they can do it. But I think all of the English teams could do it. Liverpool are probably the best placed to do it.
I've kind of anointed them there as the strongest English team just based on the fact they won the league.
Yeah.
Last. I mean, do you go along with that? Am I calling that wrong at this stage?
I think you could possibly be calling it wrong, and I'll tell you why.
You do surprise me.
Yeah, I know, there's a surprise. I take it before we any further, are we all in agreement we're happy with the new format?
Love it.
Yeah. I really do. I really enjoy the new format.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it before, I went in there open-minded, but I love it.
Any format that means you've got to sit in a studio on match night 8 and I see steam coming out of your ears.
Oh, it's brilliant.
That's a good format as far as
there's
I'm
no doubt
concerned.
about it, but I'll give you my reason. Listen, Liverpool fantastic last year and deservedly league winners and ran away with it. But I just think Arsenal defensively might be better at this moment in time than Liverpool defensively. And I think that could give them scope. Because the one thing that Arsenal can do, and they do it probably better than most, would be defend. And I think that's why they might be better options.
We'll go through them all individually and we'll get to the merits of Arsenal in a minute, but just kind of focus on Liverpool for now, because they do, as Joe said, look a little bit different this season. They're a bit more susceptible to conceding a goal. The parts are the same, but the way it's worked in the early weeks of the season, it hasn't looked the same.
I feel, from the games that I've seen of them this season, I feel as soon as Ekitike comes off the field, they kind of lose that shape going forwards and they kind of lose the direction play of going forwards, and that's how they started conceding more goals. You're bringing in someone of 130 million. So I feel having someone else to be put on the pitch that is a danger man, that could help out massively, could also help him.
As a forward, will he be happy that Isak comes in, or would he think, ooh, I quite fancy this now? Do you know what I mean? Right. What do you think as a forward's perspective?
I think it's going to be a hard decision for Slot. You thought Isak was going to be your number 1, your number 9, but how Ekitike has come in, he can't not be number 9 right now.
Yeah.
So what is he going to do? Because Isak's come into play. So is he going to play Isak off the left? Because obviously Mo's not going to come off the right.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to do it? So it's going to be, there is definitely going to be some teething problems. How's he going to deal with it, and how's he going to deal with the egos? Because these are massive players, and Ekitike's done well enough to be number 9.
Yeah, Ali, lead the way on Arsenal then, because you touched on them, and I know you like the way they're set up defensively. Allied to that this season, they get Martin Zubimendi, one of the best in his position in front of that defensive unit, and
which will allow Rice, I think.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
they've got a striker as well now.
Forward. There's nobody complained more about Arsenal not having an out centre forward than me. They've got one now. We saw him, didn't we? We saw him against City over by in Lisbon. He played really, really well. What I liked about him, he probably missed 2 or 3 chances early on and kept going. And I don't think missing, which is vitally important for a centre forward, I don't think missing bothers him that much.
Semi-final last season for Arsenal, which was big for them. Kind of makes the next step, even though it's difficult, it's not as far as some teams have got to go. When you look at them, Jules, do they look like legitimate Champions League winners at the outset to you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we were in Paris for the second leg in that semi-final and they pushed PSG for the first 20 minutes like I've rarely seen a team playing at the Parc des Princes where really PSG could not get out of that press. So Donnarumma made some big saves, and then Fabian Ruiz scored that first goal.
Yeah.
But I think defensively, like Ali said, they're the most solid. They have even more control with Zubimendi in there. And if Gyökeres starts scoring, if they don't have injuries to Saka, Odegaard, or key players, Eze, whatever, I think they can go really far. For me, they're the most cup team of all these English teams, and that's why I think they will go the further.
City, Joe?
I think at some point during the season, they'll settle on a formation. When that happens, I think that will be the click.
I still get question marks defensively about Manchester City. I give out the World Club Championship. Some of the goals they lost, crosses into the box. I think the one thing about City, lads, I think they've lost their fear factor. I'm not ruling them out by any stretch of the imagination, but they certainly don't have the fear factor. And, Rodri's key for them. And we saw him at the weekend. Naturally, I think it will take him a wee while to get going again.
Someone said to me earlier today, they said to me, how important is it for you to get a good start for you to finish well? I said, a good start is nowhere near as important as a great finish or a good finish. At the beginning of the season, you've got your little teaming stages of every single season. You can even not change your squad. It's still teaming stages because of you've come from a summer off. But 100% is the ending of the season where it's the pivotal time for me. And that's what I believe is the time for the business.
Coley, take Chelsea then.
Yeah.
The form at the back end of last season was really good. They go and win a Club World Cup, which gives them even more confidence heading in. Made a decent start to the season. Where would you put them in terms of what we can expect from them in the Champions League? Back in it.
I'd put them in a bracket, Fletch, just top of the dark horses, bottom of like the teams that you would expect to be at the latter stages of it. And it all depends, I think, on the performance of the goalkeeper, Sanchez, because that was the one area of the pitch. If you'd have asked Chelsea fans, where do we need to improve? They'd have gone, we could do with the goalkeeper.
Are the centre-backs good enough as
well?
well?
As well.
Yeah.
The two centre-halves, are they good enough?
Well, Levi at the back end of last season was brilliant.
Yeah.
And that, like centre-halves mature later, and he looked like he had this surge and something clicked with him. He scored at the City ground to secure the Champions League football. He was brilliant at the World Club Cup. He was talking, and then he's out. And then you're looking round, and Fofana you can't rely on because of injuries, although he is a top player. So yet they do need to improve that area of the pitch. But the goalkeeper, I think you'd have said to Chelsea fans, that's one area of the pitch. We just one position would improve us.
I think the thing with him, Joe, it's not necessarily that he's a goalkeeper of a level. He makes mistakes.
Yeah.
And the mistakes are impactful. I think he made 5 mistakes last season that led directly to goals. And then all of a sudden he's under the spotlight and his confidence goes. It's not as if he's a dodgy keeper.
No.
But he makes a mistake that leads to a goal. If he can eradicate that, then maybe he's serviceable enough.
I have a question for all you guys, because I wanted to know this. What would you rather have? A ball-playing keeper or a shot stopper?
Shot stopper all day.
Shot stopper.
All day. All day for me, mate.
PSG won the Champions League with a shot stopper.
I find it so crazy now, like everybody's trying to get the goalkeeper to play. And then when the goalkeeper loses it, it's the keeper that's getting slated.
Yeah.
I feel like we're complicating it for them, and then this is where all these mistakes are coming from.
There's a lot to like about Chelsea. The worry for me with them, and we'll touch on this with PSG later, is the schedule that they've had.
Chelsea have lost Colwill already.
Yeah.
And you wonder if comes October, maybe November, all those clubs that went far in the Club World Cup, then if they might have those injuries.
Then you look at Barcelona, summer off, Liverpool, summer off. You start to look
Arsenal.
at some of Arsenal, the ones that didn't have to do it. We don't know yet whether that's going to be advantageous or not, but it feels like it should be.
You will see it. You can't just flog these players throughout the 12 months and expect them to keep the levels up. There's a reason you have to, you have to have a rest. And all that's going to happen is, like what's happened with Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner, crucial. We've lost best player in the world for a year. Levi Cole, the best young centre-half now. That's overplay. You will see more injuries. It's logical. More football, no recovery, don't get but you more injuries, and it will happen.
Do you know, I was asked earlier, before we sat down and recorded this, a dark horse team for the Champions League. And I said Spurs, just based on how they look under Thomas Frank. We've seen them against Paris Saint-Germain, and bar a mad 5 minutes, they would have won the Super Cup. Manchester City away, outstanding.
I thought they were terrific against against City.
He sounded like you had shares in Pap Sarr, the way you were talking about him.
I know.
Is he related? Is he
I'd go over
got
the top
Scottish
of it.
residence?
It's a very close thing between Pap Sarr and Scott McTominay for his affection at the moment. I am telling you now. And I never thought I'd utter those words. That was blasphemy this time last year. Blasphemy.
We need to get a message from Pap Sarr for Ali. Like,
He's had a message from somebody, hasn't he, Pap Sarr? 'Cause he's a different player. The midfield three now looks so good, doesn't it? Now Pelini has gone in there with Bentancur, who's always been a good player, and Sarr, who we've just been waxing lyrical about.
The structure is there, and all that balance they didn't have last season, where they were far too attacking. Now they have it. They're strong defensively. Frank is pragmatic, so I think he can change back 5, back 4. We saw that against PSG and against City.
How
Press
important
high,
is that? Just kind of picking up on Thomas Frank.
For Europe,
that ability to be adaptable as the competition progresses.
But the only thing is, this is all new for him. So he's going to discover this. He's never had to play in Europe before, every 3 days, Tuesday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Sunday. So he will discover that. But if he can adapt to it, and with the right players and right squad, because they're still a bit thin right now to go into the two competitions, I think the pragmatism that he showed already is very valuable.
Do you know? Because I said Thomas Frank, I think, is the best signing player or manager any club's made. When I was coaching at Brentford, I saw how he spoke to people, how the environment was, and it just reminded me of some of the great managers I worked with. You know, like he's got that spark, Al. You know, when you speak to him, even when he comes over to speak to us at the desk, he's positive. He can sell a game plan to his team. You know, he's exactly what Tottenham needed. I just think he's brilliant, Thomas Frank.
I completely agree with what you're saying, because I've spoken to the boys at Brentford, and one thing that he has is he's able to get the love from the players. He's able to get players to want to give everything for him. Like, I've even come off the pitch myself, and he comes to me and he's spoken to me, and I'm just like, oh, what a nice guy. He is just that person, and he's just all a bundle of energy, and just wants to give that positivity. Especially with Spurs and how things were last year, like when I spoke to a couple of the players, like I think the boys are just going to adapt to that and just love the love. Because sometimes players just need love. Like some players need someone to put their arm around them and knows that, you know what, this guy has my back.
We've got to do Newcastle as well, because I must say that when the draw happened, and I saw Newcastle versus Barcelona at St James's Park, that made the hair stand up.
A spree came straight into your head, didn't it?
And it took me back, Coisty, to the game against PSG at St James's Park that we did the last time Newcastle were in the Champions League.
Brilliant.
And the atmosphere that night, the flags, the game, everything that went into it. I think of all the games that I've seen up to now, the one I'm looking forward to the most in the league phase is that one.
That place is electric at the best of times. But Champions League nights, it's just phenomenal.
And they've also got to go to Paris again, so we're hoping it's not the same referee that...
Worst handball I've seen. Worst handball ever.
I can't remember.
That was the worst handball ever.
Supposed to be the best ref in the world, wasn't he? Marcello.
Oh, he still is. I think he still is.
Still is. Actually went up in Jules' estimation that night, but everybody associated with Newcastle.
That was bad.
Throwing things at the TV.
That was bad.
But it's great to have him back in.
It's fantastic. The only thing is, yeah, it's a tough draw. Yeah. And the only thing is, Julien, guys, what they didn't handle particularly well was all the games the last time they were in it. I think it definitely had an effect on them. You talk about size of squads and fatigue and all that. I think it definitely had an effect on them. But I tell you, to see them back there's great.
I was hoping at this point to talk about the Scottish clubs in the league phase, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that because they're not in it. But we've still got some of Europe's big hitters to talk about. Stop looking at me like that. To talk about, and when we come back after the break, we'll talk about the likes of PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and the rest.
They've got the two best fullbacks partnership.
I didn't ask you that.
I know, but I'm going to move on to your question.
If you're going to talk about between Real Madrid and Barcelona, it's going to be Barcelona.
I want to be Ali McCoist when I grow up.
So welcome back. We're talking about the league phase of the Champions League. We've talked about the English clubs. Jules, there is no better person to kick us off talking about the holders and a team that exhilarated us last season en route to the most lopsided result in a final that we've ever seen. A team full of flair players, young players, brilliant on the eye. Paris Saint-Germain have to start off as everybody's favourites again, surely.
Yeah, I think so, although there's a reason why no clubs have retained the Champions League in the last 8 years. And even before that Real Madrid side of Zidane, it was very, very rarely done before. It's that hard But I think if there's a team that can do it, it's probably PSG because of the youth that you mentioned, the intensity, the fluidity within that structure that they displayed in that whole second half of the season, beating all those English clubs, even when they were under pressure at Villa Park, for example, in that second leg of the quarterfinals against Arsenal, in Paris even at the start of that second leg semi-final. They still never really crumbled. And despite being a young team, they showed that kind of resilience too. And then Doué or Kvaratskhelia or Dembélé would just make some magical stuff happen. So I think that the team to be, it's very difficult to reproduce what you did last season, but I think they've got all the things for that. It's just, is the goalkeeper the right goalkeeper? Is it right to get rid of Donnarumma and change it?
How much of a gamble is that? That's
huge,
yeah.
I think.
The reason why Coisty likes PSG so much, he's found a nice little restaurant that does fantastic profiteroles, great red wine, and even better prawns. I mean, he's just desperate for PSG to get deep.
Every time he said to me, "Oh, Jules, that steak at lunch today."
Coisty, how much of the draw, when it's made, are you thinking of your belly? Like,
First thing I do. Joe, it's the first thing I do. I'll nail my colours to the mast right now. It's the first thing I look. Right? Cities, restaurants, I've got the whole bit worked out.
I'm travelling. I want to be Ali McCoist when I grow up. Travelling around Europe.
Let's be honest.
Drinking wine and
Paris is up there. Might be number one. We love Paris. We don't mind a wee trip to Barcelona.
We should do a travel show.
So we should, mate.
We should.
That's what we should be doing.
A little bit of culture, a little bit of food.
Absolutely.
And
Hang on a second, so you pointed to him for the culture and me for the food. What's happening there? Did you see that? I got that one for the food. We talked about the schedule. Doesn't change the team very often. I know he's got a league that he should win at a canter, but tends to pick the same team. They've not done a great deal in terms of adding any numbers. As a Parisian, a staunch PSG supporter, as well as a very knowledgeable football man, is that any kind of concern for you? The fact they maxed out on fixtures last season, and they may well have to do that again.
Yeah, a little bit on the back of the Club World Cup chat that we had, on the fact that they've all played a lot without injuries last season. When you think about Hakimi, 62 games, I think, in the season. Dembélé as well, Nuno Mendes. I don't want to tempt fate, but at some point they are due an injury or two, and that would be worrying for sure.
The front three, I think, is fantastic. Kvaratskhelia, Doué, Dembélé. Which is the better front three, them or Rafinha, Yamal, and Lewandowski? Because I think Barcelona are serious challenges this season.
I don't disagree with you, but I tell you, I'll stick my neck out and tell you, they've got the two best fullbacks partnership.
I didn't ask you that.
I know, but I'm going to move on to your question. But I just wanted to let you know that I think they're the two best fullback partnerships in world football, right?
As a politician,
I'm now going to go on to your question.
McCoist over there.
So the fourth member of the Barcelona trio, if you like, would be Rashford.
Yes.
And the fourth member of the PSG would be Barcola.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going for PSG.
I'm going for PSG.
I'm going for PSG.
I'm going for PSG.
Lamine is going to get better, right? Because he's
Yes,
still so young, so good. But can Rafinha have the same kind of season that he had last year? And Lewandowski at his age, I mean, at some point, Lewandowski is going to get a bit slower, maybe not as clinical, and that's the worry. The PSG front three are young, and okay, Dembélé might not be as clinical again, but still, the Barca outside of Lamine, I'm just not sure if Rafinha can reproduce that, and same with Lewandowski.
Julien, Dembélé looks as though he's really flourishing and enjoying the responsibility that's been put on him, obviously, because the rest of the lads have moved on, whether it's Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, all these guys. He looks as though he's just enjoying the responsibility.
We're running out of time, but I want to go through two or three more. Real Madrid. Are they ready to win another Champions League?
I think they're in the transition. I think in stage, I don't feel like they're at the stage where they're going to be contenders this year. It's hard to rule them out because of who they are and what they've done and how many times they've won the Champions League. But I just don't feel that they're there yet. I feel like Barcelona is the better team right now. And if you're going to talk about between Real Madrid and Barcelona, it's going to be Barcelona. But I don't actually feel that Barcelona's going to win it either. Okay. I don't feel Barcelona will win it either. I think that I honestly believe it'll be an English team this year. The challenge is trying to stop an English team from winning the Champions League this year.
What is great, that every deficiency we've spoken about for any team in the competition, apart from Arsenal, is at the back. So that means we're going to get lots of goals. Because everybody else seems great at the top end of the pitch. So we could get some shootouts all the way through. Bayern Munich?
I think...
that face said it all. I mean, I hope there was a camera shot of that face. Can you screw that face up for us one more time, Joe?
but that's what Bayern Munich. It's just. I don't think they're good enough. I don't
Having
think they're
said
good
that,
enough.
though, they've added Luis Diaz to a front line that will get Jamal Musiala back at the back end of the season. And they've got Michail Elise, who I think might be a real breakout player in the Champions League this season. He's been the best player in the Bundesliga in the early weeks, and then Harry Kane.
The problem again is that balance, or the
balance.
lack of, and the structure defensively that they would get done.
Yeah. Anybody else, if you look at the Italian sides, Napoli?
Romantically,
Inter.
I want to go and watch Napoli.
Me too.
I went to watch England play there in Italy, and I played there as a player, but never went around the city, and it just got this vibrancy. And obviously went to see the Diego Maradona shrine. I love that De Bruyne has gone there. I'll be with Ali. We get a nice bit of pasta somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Historically, Conte and the Champions League hasn't really worked out, so that might be the season. But no Lukaku until December.
I wouldn't say they're going to win it, but I think they'll hurt a few teams. Hopefully not Chelsea.
I actually don't think they'll be strong as they were a couple of years ago. When I thought, when they won the title, I thought that side was better.
Yeah,
I thought that side was
that's
better.
very true.
Mickey, just picking up on your point, so how many of the English teams do you think could win it this season?
How many genuine contenders? I think for me, I'm going to go Arsenal, City. I think 2.
Right, and then you'd add
PSG, Barcelona.
Barcelona 4.
Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea. For the English team, they had 4.
Yeah.
PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
You think Real Madrid can win it?
I think they can.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
you can't discount
I'd be with
them.
you on that. They didn't look right to me. That Mbappe situation in that team seems to be affecting Vinicius, and not having Toni Kroos and Modric have been there for so long. They look imbalanced in there to me.
As someone told me,
I'm rolling City at this stage.
Are you?
No, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not seeing enough. I mean, time will tell. And of course, like you say, they could gel as the season goes on. But at this stage, I'd be concerned about City.
Well, we might revisit this. So think about it. In fact, we probably will revisit it.
There's no might about it.
Time to stick your money where your mouth is. Cole, who wins the Champions League this year?
I'm going to go PSG.
Mickey?
Carabag.
I've changed from half hour ago. Mate, it's bold.
Get a bet on now if that's what you think. Get a bet on now.
I'm gonna go City.
City.
Yeah.
Coisty.
PSG.
PSG. Do I need to ask you? No. You won't be allowed back into your house if you say anybody other than PSG.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. PSG.
I'm going to go Barcelona. I think this is Barcelona's year. So that's what we think. And I think if we sum it all up, we're expecting a competition where if teams are weak, it's going to be at the back. Great news. If teams are strong, it's going to be at the top end of the pitch. Even better news. And I think the competition in general is going to be as good as ever. Joe, Mickey, Coisty, Jules, thank you very much. Enjoy the Champions League with us. We know what the league phase looks like. We can't wait to get started. You can follow it all the way to the final, all the ups and downs, all the goals, all the drama with us on TNT Sports.